And good evening. It's May 22nd, the day before the end of the novena to Mary, Help of Christians, and just 8 or 9 more days before the end of the month. As we look at the today, what I thought I would try and mention this evening, I came across a little story that had to do with Don Bosco and Dominic Savio. At Dominic Savio's death, Saint Dominic Savio was a student of St. John Bosco for the last 2 or 3 years of his life, and decided after hearing Don Bosco speak that he wanted to become a saint. And he used the terminology, si ille con non ego. If others can do it, if they could do it, looking at the other saints, why can't I? He was determined to become a saint, and he put himself in Don Bosco's hands and told him, you're the tailor, I'm the cloth. Make of me a beautiful garment for Mary. And that's exactly what happened. We look and we see at the age of 14, he wasn't even 15 years old when he died, and yet this marvelous boy saint, what a model for our young people today. And so the story I wanted to talk with is Dominic, who's one of my favorite saints. It deals with right at his death, and it has to do with Don Bosco appeared to Dominic Savio appeared to Don Bosco after his death, and Don Bosco asked Savio what had consoled him most at the time of his death, and Dominic's response was this: what consoled me most at the hour of death was the thought that I had been devoted to Our Lady. Tell this to your young people, he told Don Bosco, and be insistent in your appeal for devotion to Mary. So for you who have families, you who have children, what a wonderful practice to begin instilling in them a love and a devotion for Mary, the Mother of Jesus, Mary, the help of Christians. I remember instances, and I might have even shared some of this, when my mom used to have us do a decade of the Rosary after meals, especially during the Lenten times. And I used to try to get out of it wiggling, saying, "Well, my knees, Mom, I can't kneel on the floor, it's too hard." And she would get me up and say, "Hey, you can kneel on the chair then," with a little pad on the chair. So no one was going to get out of doing the Hail Marys. But it was my memories of my mother with her rosary, my mother instilling in us the importance of praying to Mary, and through Mary to Jesus. That stays with me even today. And I'm hoping that I certainly have a long way to go to get to the same level of devotion that Dominic had for Mary, when at the age of 7 he said, "My friends shall be Jesus and Mary." Oh. At 7, when I was 7 years old, I was still trying to think of the mysteries of how to tie my shoe, let alone wondering about who my friends, Jesus and Mary, this wonderful sensitive soul. And I'm thinking, what can you do during this month of May as a family to assist us in developing a little closer relationship with Mary, and then through her son Jesus? Maybe, as a family activity, you could maybe pray as a family for those who passed away, maybe in your family members, or members from the parish community that we've tried, or for the sick that we list in our bulletin each week, that we remember our obligation to pray for family and for others. You might want to get a little mass card for the souls in purgatory. Wonderful little suggestion, a remembrance, and maybe to do a few Hail Marys, every day, to develop a little practice. Maybe at the end of the day, before you go to bed, a Hail Mary, and then the sign of the cross on our pillow. Something simple, a little family practice that focuses our attention on Mary, and through Mary to her son Jesus. And what a wonderful way to end our day with a little invocation. The Mary, Help of Christians, pray for us. Mary, Help of Christians, you intercede for us now and at the hour of our death. And through your prayers, make us worthy of the promises of Christ. Make us worthy of the promises of Christ. Mary, Help of Christians, pray for us. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And I want to remind us one more time. I want to remind us about what's going on this weekend. We have a 5 o'clock Mass on Saturday. We have the 200 Hands for Mary with a Mass beginning at 8:30 on Saturday morning, the 25th. And then the 200 Hands for Mary will continue to go throughout as long as it lasts. And then we'll also have our outreach program to the poor on that day as well, leaving at 9, getting back by about 11 o'clock or so, 11:15. And then on Sunday we have our 9:45 gathering in the courtyard for our rosary procession, ending with the crowning of Mary at the main building. And then our Mass at 11 o'clock out by the lakefront, followed by picnic. Seems like a nice day, a nice family day, a nice time to spend together as family, celebrating Mary under her title Help of Christians, Mary in her presence, 91 years of presence here, and Mary is the namesake of our parish community. We'll be thinking of you and praying for you. Hopefully you'll be doing the same for each of us here. Mary, Help of Christians, pray for us.